right before we was leaving.
Really?
Well, she texted me.
She said it. I knew that.
I didn't like. I read it and forgot.
Oh.
And then so she was like, "She's not gonna be there." I was like,
Well,
oh.
you know.
Okay.
For
But yeah, so
future.
So the Snyder,
No, it's for
the Snyder cut. The way it works is this. It's a really simple explanation, but I thought more people like understood this or knew this, because DC and all of their business is like always in the news and always trending. So Zack Snyder, who directed Man of Steel, was assigned to direct Justice League. Mm-hmm. He had the vision, they had the script, and they started shooting. Then his daughter tragically took her own life.
Oh my goodness.
So he dropped from the project, understandably so. But he told them, essentially, just wait. And they were like,
I'll be back.
We have a movie to make.
Right.
Respectively speaking. Except then they hired Joss Whedon, another director, who rather than looking at what Zack Snyder had and what they were doing and going in that direction, said no. And he made a completely different movie. The only thing that's really the same is the setup. So like the first 45 minutes, and then everything else is different. Even visually, like the characters don't look the way Snyder had, like the CGI, like everything is basically different. Then that Justice League came out, and it was terrible, and everyone hated it, and they've been trashing it for.
Oh, so that's the first one that came out?
Yes, the Justice League that came out is directed by Joss Whedon. Zack
What year
Snyder's
was that?
3 years ago.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
Nah, it had to have been like. I think it was the same. Didn't that come out when the Age of Ultron came out?
No, it is not that old. Age of Ultron was.
It wasn't
out.
that. I could have sworn it was at
Justice League
least
came out the
17.
year after Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yes.
Quick insert. Did you see the preview of Winter Soldier and the
I
Falcon?
thought they dropped Justice League first, and then started dropping all the Singularity movies.
No. Aquaman and Shazam are the only solo movies that came after Justice League.
And the last Wonder Woman. But
Yeah, but Wonder Woman, I'm saying like the intro.
yeah. But did you see when he was like, they fight androids, wizards, and something else?
In the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't in Age of Ultron, so how he know?
Well, he's still a part of the team. You know the history.
Oh, okay. That was my one question.
You're
Go
gonna
ahead.
bring him up to speed on everything.
So, Zack Snyder, the original Justice League that came out, he's still never even seen it.
Garbage.
Really? Yeah, because Christopher Nolan, they're homies, and Christopher Nolan was like, "Don't watch that movie. It's terrible. It's a shame to cinema."
Christopher Nolan.
They both
is
came out in
Batman?
2017. I don't know which months though.
So
What?
is
Justice League and Wonder
is
Woman.
Rob
Oh, so
Pattinson
same year,
Batman in
yeah.
this Justice
No,
League?
that's another Batman that's coming out next year, directed by Matt Reeves.
Oh.
The reason why is DC is making essentially two separate universes at the same time. Because the DCEU has been doing so bad and Joker was so good, they're gonna make movies that kind of feel more realistic, like Matt Reeves'
That's
The
good.
Batman, which looks like it's gonna be great. And then they're still gonna continue with the DCEU, hoping that they can recover it in the
The Joker with what's his face was
Joaquin.
DC.
I mean, the Joker is a DC
Yeah.
character, so they have to sign off on it. It's not DCEU, so it's not their extended universe. It's essentially not canon, like in the way that it doesn't exist in the same universe as Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, all that. But he's still a DC character.
Yeah.
But that's not a DC movie.
DC had to sign off on it being made.
Like
by,
Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool's Marvel.
No. I'm saying, but it's not. It doesn't fit in the MC.
Yes, Deadpool doesn't exist in the MCU,
Exactly.
but it's still a movie that
Yes.
Marvel has to sign off on being able to make.
Okay.
Right. So
Just like Venom.
But yeah, that
How
movie
it's a Sony
was
movie,
the best.
but
Yeah.
it's not a part of the MCU. You know what I'm saying? But that is a Marvel character.
So, Zack Snyder, Zack Snyder, essentially, once things kind of died down and quieted down, he was like, I'd still like to make my movie. And just right now, the DCEU is in such a bad spot that they were like, maybe the Snyder Cut's what we need to kind of get us back into good lands. So they greenlit him making his movie. So that's why it's called Justice League Snyder Cut. The reason why it's 4 hours 2 minutes is because his vision was super long, and
4 hours?
yes, and because the first movie was so bad, they basically gave him carte blanche this time and just said, make the movie you were gonna make because our first movie was so bad.
Yeah.
So he made his whole movie. They edited it, and so like it's basically it's like a director's cut. Perfect, like it's exactly the story he wanted to tell, and he was like, "You're not gonna delete any scenes," and they were like, "Okay."
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
That's not ridiculous. That's amazing.
Like,
So,
good for him.
Like Zack Snyder got some big
Like,
huevos.
good for him.
Because goodness. Infinity War, not Infinity War. Endgame wasn't even that long.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm not watching
that's
that.
only Endgame is like a movie you can only watch once because of the stuff leading up to the climax of the movie is just so slow.
Yeah, that's why I like it. My
think it
favorite
was so
movie
slow.
of like the first 3 phases of the MCU is Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War is top
Like it
5.
just has
Infinity
the
War
perfect
was
balance
really,
of all
really
of this
good.
stuff.
Infinity
was
War,
very
Winter
good.
Soldier, Civil War. I sometimes flip Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier
Personally,
and Civil War are crazy.
I know we've had this conversation. Me personally, Civil War is my favorite Marvel movie
Civil War
simply
is up
because
there.
of
Why?
how many people.
Black Panther chose violence.
It introduced the Black Panther in
Yeah.
one of the most amazing ways you could introduce.
Yeah, he
a new
immediately
superhero.
got busy.
Facts. It was no talking, no type of nothing. You
I'll
finna
do it
die because my father
myself.
died, sir. He didn't even try to question to see if he actually did it. You know what I'm saying? He said, I ain't do it. He said, then why you run it? Like, he was the whole police mentality. But I feel like it's because of the airport scene. Like I
Crazy.
feel like it puts it like over the top because of how well they did leading up to that storyline, and then even after, Tony going to help them, and then getting pieced up a little bit.
Good question. While they were talking about Civil War, so on the basis of the Sokovia Accords, so not involving the whole Bucky killing Iron Man's parents.
Okay.
Team Cap, Team Iron Man.
Iron
Pre
Man.
that,
Yeah, pre that. What team are you on,
Iron Man.
Team Cap.
Andrew?
I feel
Wait,
like I'm
wait,
gonna say
wait,
contrary to what my
I'm
heart
sorry,
wants me
because
to go to.
I just influenced my decision based upon the Sokovia Accords.
No, that's what you decided about. Like their debate over whether they should sign the Sokovia Accords.
Oh yeah, Team Cap.
I'm low-key Team Cap.
Team Cap.
I'm Team Cap, and if you're Team Iron Man, you're the police. Sorry, Ashton.
Very much so.
I just love Iron Man.
They basically were
You're the-
answering to
you're
the
the
man who
police.
created Abomination.
Ain't no basically. That's exactly what it was.
Like,
it was like you
I
got
this
to
man
check in
didn't
with me.
tried
understand
to-
the question.
Oh, would you agree with who?
Oh, okay. Did you saw Captain America
I
Civil
did
War,
see
right?
it. I didn't
So-
understand that you were asking whether they should have signed.
Yes, that,
Yeah,
yes.
the-
whose
the
ideology
first
you
place.
siding with?
Yeah, Captain America.
Okay, yeah.
Because Tony's
That's what
only
they was
reasoning.
saying.
I know.
His ass beat. He
I know
was
a lot of
tripping.
people who are Team Iron Man, and
For what?
because they're the police.
He was snitching.
Literally. But Tony's only argument was shifting the same blame that the mother shifted
you
on
saw
them.
that TikTok?
Of course.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
saw-
saying? I seen it. I was like, dang, he really.
No, I saved
He really
it. It's on
did.
my phone.
Facts. I was just. And then I watched it again. Like, I ended up watching it again. And then at the same time, watching, like, wow. First of all, Zemo could have not known that the Accords had been, have been drafted up at this point in time. And then in the most perfect, vulnerable time in the Avengers, tenure,
Yeah,
he was able to sever that entire thing.
he was really their. Other than Thanos, he was their best villain. Like
Big facts.
Who was Zemo?
the
regular guy.
Yeah, he was just getting revenge because
Which guy
it
was
was his
that?
wife. The one that
He was Sokovian.
yeah,
His
he-
family died in Age of Ultron, and he was like on
when
the phone
thing dropped.
throughout the whole movie,
Well, I
listening
don't
to the
remember
same
him.
voice message.
I really
He
like
was
I've
the
seen
dude
this
with
since I was, like,
he was the
12
dude
though,
with
so
the
I don't
red
know.
book, and he's the one who like reactivated
Bucky.
into Winter Soldier mode.
Oh,
Yeah.
that guy. Okay,
and then he was
I know
gonna kill
what you're
himself in
talking
the end,
about.
but Black Panther stopped him.
Yeah. Okay,
He was
okay.
different. How did he even figure out what was going on in 1991?
Well, he built that way.
Like what?
I really
what
like
was
how
information.
Marvel shifts the who you can perceive as the strongest Avenger, because up until you know who did you know what, and
WV.
yes,
Mhm.
you thinking it's
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Thor or
What?
well,
Who didn't
maybe
see
the
it?
viewers haven't seen it, so I don't
Oh,
want to spoil it
WandaVision?
for
I'm gonna
nobody.
talk about it.
Well, shoot, let's talk about it. If you ain't
Wait,
seen
hold
it now,
up. WandaVision spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Fast forward if you ain't seen
It was
it.
so good.
Wanda is now officially the strongest Avenger.
Yeah, she is.
As the
Absolutely.
Scarlet Witch.
As the Scarlet Witch.
So, I mean, pre her, you would probably think it was Thor, the way he did what he did in Infinity War.
Brie
I
Larson
so.
makes the argument for Captain Marvel.
Exactly. I would
Yes.
say Captain Marvel.
True,
But
she's not an Avenger
yeah.
in my eyes.
She's not.
She had
separates
5 minutes
herself.
of bro. She
Yeah.
had 5 minutes of screen time.
I'm gonna keep it
But
100.
she-
I did not like her attitude at all in Endgame.
She was very
Period.
stank.
Help! There are other planets that need help.
You not from them planets.
Well, the battle here affected theirs. The battle there, we good. So where should you have been?
Exactly my point. And then it's like she comes in at the end. Yes, she say,
The
but the
galaxy's got a
reason
guardian.
they needed her is because of Wanda. Because she was about to kill Thanos, and he said, "Make it rain fire."
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And
the reason why she even entered the atmosphere was simply because of that. Or, well, she was probably on her way. And
she was
just
probably on her
got
way,
there
but it just made
at
it more
that time.
dramatic because the gun stopped and started shooting her. But if it wasn't for Wanda getting ready to crack him in half, it wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't even know
But,
who
okay,
you
so
are.
so in the do you guys in the after credit scene when they like
Which
her,
one?
the second one,
Yes.
the very last
Yeah.
one, like when her kids were screaming,
Yes.
what are they trapped in?
that's a great question
I
because
don't-
she was. I don't know if you heard, but that was the Doctor Strange music that was playing.
Yeah.
More like in a sinister way, so I figure she's going to be the antagonist in the next Doctor Strange
Multiverse
movie.
of Madness.
I
Yeah.
love Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but he gonna get pieced up
Yeah.
by Wanda.
Oh, he
I
gonna
feel
get
like the
beat
next
up.
Agnes said it. Agatha said it so clear. Yeah, the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than even the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah,
Backs. Oh, yeah. When I
Yeah.
Straight said, Brett. She was like, "Yeah, she's gonna beat Doctor Strange up
she
next
gonna
movie."
piece that man up.
foreshadowing.
And it is like a horror based, like I know it's supposed to be really weird.
But I'm thinking maybe it's like, because you know how what am I saying?
We don't know.
We don't know.
I just had a thought and I lost it.
You said you
But
know
I
how.
figure like the way that she was able to manipulate that world, I figured she was able to save them somehow, and they're just trapped somewhere.
I feel like
Yeah,
she
either that or like
caused-
bring them back.
Yeah,
I feel like she caused multiverses with
Also-
what she did because of the fact that you seen how, like, throughout, you know what I'm saying,
And then
she's
I wonder where
she's
Vision went.
creating matter, changing
That's
matter,
what I was gonna say. When is it
and
coming
she was
back?
shifting time. I don't think it's coming back. I think it was a one season type of thing.
Well,
No,
one of
no.
the-
Vision.
Oh,
the
Vision.
character,
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
is now
Yeah,
Vision.
now he is
You're
Vision.
talking about White
The
Vision.
White Vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
White Vision.
That was hilarious. Because while I was watching it, I was watching it with my friend, and they were just not like, they kept talking and like not getting the
What
whole
was going
riddle
on?
that he was doing.
Yeah.
And so they were like, rewind it. Rewind it. I want to get it. Rewind it. And I was like, I can just explain it. They was like, no, rewind it.
Oh,
Just like,
good.
this is funny. But yeah, that
That
was
was
a
so
moment.
satisfying.
I was a
That was
little
a moment.
confused at first too, because I'm like, well, if but she didn't use his body. He was a projection of
Yeah, she,
Right.
she
The
straight
mind
conjured
state.
him.
the
Yeah.
real body.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what they used to reconstruct. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
Did we
yep.
intro the
But
show?
why did he just
No, I
leave?
not at
So
all.
I
I'm
was
thinking
like,
about this the
where
whole
did
time.
he go?
Well,
To find answers, I guess.
I had
just
two
dipped.
theories.
No, like, I know
Either-
he knows he has to do something, but I'm like, he looked like he was on a mission.
Yeah,
Like,
he definitely
was moved
looked like he left on a mission.
I think it was more of
I love
him
Marvel.
trying to. He probably left to like probably regain more memories. If that was, you know what
Probably
I'm
left
saying.
to kill himself.
I doubt that. You know what I'm saying? He probably left to just
Well,
be
because his
avoid
mission was to
the
destroy
weapons.
Vision.
You know what I
And
mean?
he is the Vision.
Go ahead and just jump off that bridge.
That won't kill him, but
Yeah,
But I
know,
thought
but
he made
the
the
Vision version.
separation
Yeah.
between him not being like the real Vision,
Yeah, but he is the Vision.
He is the
He
real
is.
Vision, though.
but not like he
They
is.
took the body that was in Wakanda and re-put it back together, trying to make him into the weapon that Ultron was
I
trying
seen
to
all
make
these
him into.
TikToks about Vision not phasing when Thanos was getting ready to pluck the Mind Stone out of his head.
Uh-huh.
And
I
I
think
like,
he
why
had-
didn't he do that?
he had the
couldn't
reality
because
stone.
he had a whole staff up his stomach, and it said it stopped him from phasing. That's why
It wasn't
he
still
couldn't
in
phase.
his stomach though.
No, but
And
Well,
then, but
also, here's what people
even
need to
after that, he
Thanos
didn't
still had
phase
the
the whole
gauntlet on his
movie.
hand. It
Yeah,
really
and
didn't
here's
matter
what
what
people
he
need to
did.
understand. He just died. Time just got rewounded. So he's
He
like,
just
I
woke up."
exist. And the first thing that happens is a big purple hand around his neck and another one coming for the stone. Like, he didn't really have
He did
time
not have time
to
to
game
all.
plan at all.
Nobody
any way,
had time
shape, or
to
form.
do anything at all. It was over with.
That was a great discussion.
It was.
Amazing.
Hello. We are
It's me.
we are the Youth Speak Out podcast, man. A podcast for the youth, by the youth, being a voice to the youth by giving a voice to the youth. You already know who it is. It's your boy, Saint Eve Emmanuel Lyons, also known as God's favorite.
I'm Tony Stark.
That's who I said.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
for obvious reasons.
R.I.P. to our boy Tony. Hi everybody, it's Ashton.
What's poppin'? It's your boy.
We back.
You already know who it is, man.
If you're loyal to us, you probably noticed that one of us is missing.
The one with the
Hannah
biggest
doesn't
head and
have
the lightest
corona.
skin.
She's just on vacation.
She's on
Living her
vacation.
best
Yeah,
life.
she out there blowing through stimmies,
Left us.
which is actually our first topic, ironically.
Stimulus.
Big Stimmy life is going on.
Ashley
not
didn't
big
get one
enough.
because she make too much money.
That's not even true.
You make more than.
No, I don't.
just
Don't
kidding.
even put that out there because I wish I made that much money. But I showed
Boy,
up.
I'm about to move in your closet. You got the
wish.
nerve to make that much money? Fresh out of
You got the nerve
university?
to make that. That is hilarious. But yeah, I definitely
know,
woke
I
up
wish.
to my
None of
account
my
being
peers
stimulated.
better
Well, not
not
woke
be
up because I
eligible.
was at work when my account got stimulated. But
It was real
did get
nice,
stimulated.
but they need to send us about 7 more. I need more.
facts, like, what is 1,400 gonna do? Think about it. Like,
It
to,
got it's enough to get
Exactly what
everybody
it's gonna
from
do.
where they at to someplace else. Because I don't know a single person still in Atlanta, and I don't know. And all my people who not in Atlanta is in Atlanta. I don't know. You know, it's everybody traveling, man. There's people in Miami. I got 4 people that I follow in Mexico.
In
One
Mexico?
2 in Cancun, 1 in Tulum, and 1 somewhere else.
oh, they living life.
Ooh, you better go.
I know.
There's people in Miami. It's crazy.
Yeah, no,
Oh, I
it's
I
a
know,
see
few
they're
people.
going
academic
It's a
up in
few
space.
people
Miami.
Miami's going
down in
stupid.
Miami on my little
Yeah,
story
what's
scroll.
going on in Miami?
It's just
It's
Miami.
Miami.
Well, it's spring. It's
it's
spring
spring
break,
break.
Spring break,
and
too.
them stimmies hit. So people who
Yeah.
ain't been in school for 3, 7, 13 years is down there for no reason,
Then you
preying
gotta
on the people
remember-
That are still
on
in
spring
school.
break.
We
That's
getting old.
insane.
What'd you guys use your stimulus for? What'd you do? You
Paid
got
bills.
I'm poor.
Yes.
I didn't get one.
Definitely think of one.
So sorry.
Yeah, it's out here.
Paid bills.
Nah, I don't think.
Why don't you file taxes?
I did file
Oh.
taxes, but I'm also a dependent, and this is my
Facts.
first year filing taxes, so I didn't qualify.
But they said adult dependents were included in this go round, but for some
Only
reason,
if they're in college.
yeah, it was.
Only
It was-
if
it was
they're
a
in
lot more
college?
stipulations.
Yeah, they just were saying that, but I read articles. I read articles on it.
And even still,
That's shiesty.
and even still, mine was
that is
dependent
so shiesty.
on
Pooh
how much
Shiesty,
my
that's my
father paid,
dog.
and I don't even think he got.
But
one
Joe,
this
you
time.
know you really shiesty.
or my father or my mother got one this time. So,
Yeah, you know they ain't getting one.
but I mean,
Yeah.
he got one, he got the first one and the second one. So,
Really?
He probably got it for a
They
business.
they
though.
dropped the cap because we was just talking
They did
about
drop
that.
it this
yeah.
time.
So it was like a combined household of like 180 or something
Yeah.
like that, and now
I
it's
think it was-
150 or something like that. 140.
yeah, it's
something.
150, 160, something
Yeah,
like that.
something around there.
But yeah, I just know because I did the little IRS thing and put in my information. It was just like saying no information available. So I was just like, you got me again, Uncle Sam.
Mine was
That's
like
so
mine was like
rude.
we're either
Yeah,
trying to
but-
process your information or you're not eligible. So then I did research and all the articles were everything I read that could kind of be me. I was trying to find loopholes and everything.
Facts.
They were like every version of you is eligible. So get off our website.
I feel like if they just print more money, they definitely could afford to send us more than 1,400.
They don't
I
even
mean,
have
they
to
print
circulate
money
this
all
money.
day.
This is just ones and zeros in a computer.
Exactly. It's all fake. This stuff is made up.
Bro, we 9.
So why not send me
we
like
trillion-
3,000,
we
4,000?
trillion
Because
dollars
they
in
don't-
debt to
they don't
China
care
alone.
about you.
That doesn't even exist.
Don't
don't think
care.
There's not a trillion anything on Earth.
That's crazy.
Ain't even a trillion molecules probably in this mug, and we trillions of dollars in debt to China. How? When are they
Hey.
gonna come get their bread back?
They gonna have to get it back in blood. You
They
heard?
gonna get it back in blood. Literally, that's what they
If they
waiting.
don't, what's her name with Shorty's sister name? Who's like a Zula? Kim Jong Un.
That's not
I
China.
know it's not China, but I said if they
You don't owe them no
don't, they
bread.
don't.
Then
She
someone else
will. She done made threats
sure
for some
will.
reason. She ain't even the head of her country.
Yeah.
She not in her country?
She
probably
not the
gonna
head of her
kill
country.
Kim.
Oh.
Her brother's still alive.
She gonna kill
Yes,
him
he
and get
is.
him out of this.
Remember
Somehow,
when
some way.
they said TMZ said he died? TMZ's
Yes.
only miss?
How did they?
But
Who
did
gave
he-
them that information?
Because he had surgery and somebody told him that it got botched and they ran with it.
Why they do that?
I don't know. Because usually their stuff is reliable. But
Yeah,
I realized
TMZ is who I
their stuff
rely
is
on.
reliable is because people that be out in the field is straight leeches. They have no morality.
They have no morals.
Like,
nothing
they
at
will
all.
do anything.
The
I
black
would
guy?
have stood me this.
Oh, that shot. The,
Who?
Why are you whispering?
Right. But you can speak.
That's
can
more,
speak.
that's
more
less of a
reason
reason
speak
to
up.
whisper.
Yeah.
Like, how the people on camera gonna hear you?
Talk about the stimulus. Talk about the guy that killed 4 people because he wanted half of the stimulus money of his baby's mother.
So who did he kill?
He killed
Her
he
daughter,
shot
her brother.
baby mother. He killed her mother, killed her brother, and killed her 7-year-old
Because he
daughter.
wanted he wanted half of
She
the
got caught in
stimulus.
fire. Yeah. in the crossfire because he wanted half of her stimulus money.
And she offered to give him some of it, just not
Why he want
half.
half of hers? He don't get his own?
She
He's
said
probably.
that he does not
I'm
take
pretty
care
sure
of
if
the
he
child,
was
he
ready to kill for
deserved it.
700, he had.
But the
enough.
7-year-old he
And
killed.
the money was going through her pocketbooks and stuff. And her brother
He
tried
thought the
to-
stimulus was in there in the pocketbook.
Where the money at? Where she offered him $450. Said take it or leave it. He said I want half, but he doesn't take care of his child supposedly.
But the
So-
7-year-old he killed is not his child. That's only her child, correct? Yeah.
Because he took his child.
Oh,
He
With
took.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't
His
got
kid
him no
with
more.
they gonna throw him under the
No,
jail.
I'm saying
That's
you just
triple
gonna
homicide.
spray
They
everybody
could
up and
probably
you just gonna
prove.
scoop your baby and go.
Well, they can't prove premeditation, but they probably could.
They
It was
can.
premeditation because he had been harassing her prior to.
I
He
mean,
just-
unless he like made, but to prove it is something completely different. in the
But
law.
they're also, this is a relationship. So,
Yeah, so
if he's
it's-
threatened her at any point in the
Facts,
past, they
that's what
can
I'm
use
saying.
that.
If he
If he
used
done
the
said
words,
anything
I'm
as
going
simple
to
as-
anything.
I will kill
I'll
you.
pluck your eyelash out.
I kiss you on your forehead.
That's a threat.
But I mean, really, why would people go that crazy over some 14?
Why do people go
Well, first of
crazy
all,
over anything?
Exactly.
Why did the
It's-
white man drive from Ackworth to Atlanta to kill Asian people?
Well, that's because he said the
Who
words
cares
out
what
of
he
his
says?
mouth was
Who cares what he
cares?
says?
Yes.
the words out of his mouth were he had to fight temptation, meaning that apparently he was sexually attracted to Asian women and decided to take it upon himself to eliminate them to alleviate his sexual temptation.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Did y'all see what that sheriff said?
yeah,
bro.
which is way more telling than a lot of people
I mean,
even know.
it's right there.
You're not
It's
really-
in front of you.
I'm not really surprised.
I read an article. Well, I didn't read the
How do I
article.
make this
I
stop
saw.
going down, Drew?
You gotta probably tighten the screw right there.
This one?
I
Yes.
saw parts of an article that were just talking about how great of a person he was. How his friends and family said how he doesn't even curse.
I hate that.
I was like, he may not curse, but he sure do murder, don't
Right.
he?
Hey, y'all heard the video of Kurt Franklin cursing?
Yes.
Doesn't it sound like he ain't never cursed before?
No.
When he said BA,
Yeah.
that yes, I was like,
what?
This
It's
person sound
probably been
experienced.
a minute.
But the rest of the
It's been a
stuff
very long
sounded
time.
like he was.
Because
But
he
the
got
BA,
back into the flow.
he was like, yo. I was like, that's a little
I
off.
seen a video
But then
that
he
was
caught
like,
his rhythm.
this hearing Kurt Franklin curse made me respect him even more. Is he one of
Honestly-
those like uncancelable people? Like, can you
He's
not?
always
he's
kept it real,
uncancelable.
though.
Here's
Here's the thing.
Exactly. Here's the thing.
You try to
When
help somebody,
you try to help somebody to the point where they don't do nothing but, disrespect you, at some point you're gonna lose your temper. You feel me? This man that he was talking to is his son, but this man is 33 years old. And what
I didn't even know
everybody
he
seems
had
to
a
forget
33-year-old
about the
son.
video is that he's cursing at him first. And there's an entire segment, apparently, that Kirk said of the portion of the phone call where he got the therapist on the phone, in which they've been trying to work out their relationship ever since he was young. And he decided to act the way he acted. And so he was like, well, if that's how you feel, okay. And what I heard was a conversation between two grown men, one from the hood of Texas. I don't know where the heck his son was born, but that's what it was to me.
Kurt from the hood?
Yeah.
I will
GP,
say.
are you with me?
Most people
I'm still
online
rocking with
is on
Stomp.
Kirk's side.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I
I'm
will
still
say, yeah,
Stomp.
it was wild
I
that
might bump
he
into
even
him
felt
for
like
a
he
money.
had to make an
An apology,
video.
like, what are you apologizing for?
I don't care. Like, why is he apologizing to the public?
I mean, I
Exactly.
think if it was just a regular celebrity who got in that video leaked, they wouldn't have done it. It's
'cause
because
it's
he's
Kurt
a gospel
Franklin.
Yeah,
artist.
it's because
Yeah.
God's
But
artist.
it's ridiculous. Kurt Franklin's been, he in a way,
They said the plies in them came out.
one of the things that like can be found to be critical of gospel artists is their lack of vulnerability. And Kirk Franklin has, for the past few years, been leagues
addicted to
ahead of his
porn, too,
peers.
right?
Yes, he came out about his porn addiction. He came out about issues in his marriage. These are things
Yeah.
that he's been forthcoming and vulnerable and transparent
Look,
about.
I've heard bishops curse at basketball games, so this ain't nothing new. But I didn't want to skip over the, huh?
You got pastors that curse over the pulpit.
You sure
Yeah,
do.
like the
You sure?
cursing pastor.
The cursing pastor.
He is a little too much for me. I'm like, I get this your aesthetic, but
But
you
stop.
curse more than
Like,
me, brother.
chill
Dial it
out.
down. Good lord.
But
It does not
yeah, I
have
didn't
to
want
be
to
every
speed
other
over
word.
the what was we just talking about? The young man.
Well, we got a whole segment for it. I mean, we could
Yeah, we can go
dive
ahead.
in now, or we could go in later. But either way, I think to encapsulate both that and the shooting over the stimulus money, like I don't know. I the other day somebody was talking about like being crazy and not like in like the coy way, but like literally just like people who are off their knocker.
Off kilter,
yeah.
They were talking about it because they were watching Criminal Minds, and they were just like, why is it that crazy people never have to answer for crazy people? It's always people with their sanity that have
Right.
why, like, and not like to say your question's a bad question, but why is the question being posed to people who wouldn't shoot people over $1,400? Why somebody shooting somebody over Ask the crazy. Only they understand the psychology behind shooting somebody over $700. Now, I maybe understand like if somebody, you know, you loan somebody $700 and you say you got to get it back, and they run around the city shaking you. I understand maybe shooting somebody about that $700, but some $700 that's not you not entitled to.
Not
It does not even make sense.
I couldn't fathom it.
Right.
Nor blicking the mom or the brother, hitting little babies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it surely made sense in his brain.
A lot of people
Obviously.
think the saying goes, you know, money is the root of all evil, but it's
The
not.
love
It's
of
the
money.
love of money that's the root of all evil. So if you love money enough, you'll pretty much do anything.
You will.
And also,
Absolutely.
He had been in jail previously before for gun charges, shooting somebody. So that's his go-to.
Was that wasn't
That's
in
his
Georgia,
MO.
right?
I don't remember.
Oh, you're
I
talking
didn't
about
see
the
that.
stimulus guy?
Yeah, I definitely didn't see that.
Yeah.
I
But
did not see that.
Yeah,
That's
she
annoying.
texted us on the way I heard about it.
there was something else I did see about. It was another shooting that was a black man. I don't know if that's what it was because I just saw the article and kind of just clicked over. I didn't like read it or anything, but I do know there was a shooting in Loganville recently.
Yes,
where-
there was a shooting in Loganville.
And you want to know something really crazy? One of Arlena's roommates, that's her little brother. And apparently she's had to like make a statement on Instagram telling people that, yes, that's my little brother, but I don't know what goes on in his life. So
He did the
like, this
shooting?
has nothing to do with me. Yeah, he killed somebody.
Oh,
Wow.
Was
He-
it the
or
coach?
he-
Was
he-
it the coach?
Well, I don't know. I just know I think he killed one person, left 3 injured. Or killed 3 people, left 1 injured. I'm pretty sure it was the first one.
Oh, I shouldn't have said
I
that.
remember seeing that.
I gotta finish the job.
And he was 17.
He still would have got caught though.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
He was 17.
He is 17. I said was. He is.
He is 17.
Yeah, he's a.
Yeah, why was they calling that white man a kid? That man is 21 years old.
Because
Okay, now
that's
my thing is to
what
me,
they do.
I would casually say boy about anybody that did that. If it was a 21-year-old Mexican or a black person, I wouldn't say that they were a man. Casually.
But you know they do that though,
Do that.
because they called what's his name?
Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice.
He was a man.
And he was 12.
He was 12.
But that's, I mean, to speak to that question, like, you know why?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Right, we know
To
this.
get the exact
Like-
reaction out of people that they're getting.
it's I don't know, at this point I'm really tired like of the questions, not like even just saying this, but like the fact that we're in the question stage of anything, or that we have to keep
Yeah.
asking the same questions.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like,
That
we've
yellow
seen-
journalism.
we
Yeah.
we done, how many white men on mass shootings have we seen in bulletproof vests that got taken in and put
Right.
in protective wear? Like
how
how
many
many
They're
of
really
them
mentally
like we
insane. They're gonna say he's crazy.
And how many of them have told us why
He
they
was,
did it?
he was at the end of his rope and he just had a bad day.
It's typical. We already know what's about
Man,
to happen.
I was at the end of my rope yesterday.
Same.
I had a terrible day at work. I went to QT and I bought 2 donuts. And I was like, these are going to make this night a little bit better.
Right.
Out of all the days, see, I own a pistol. Out of all the days that I've owned a pistol, I've never once thought, you know what? Today's the day I'm gonna kill somebody.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
I've
It's
had
like
one
I've
since
never in my life wanted to do that.
And he bought the gun the
2017.
day of.
That's
Which
crazy.
is
Bought the gun
insane.
the day of.
That's
From where? A
wild.
gun store?
I don't know. I didn't see
So
where he
how
bought
did
it
he-
from.
Somebody in the dog alley. something.
Yeah, he probably.
Okay, so
They
Not
he should
one of
have
the
been able to get a
loopholes.
gun again legally.
You
not
said
one
what?
of the loopholes.
I said he. Never mind. You're talking about the other person. I thought you were talking about this guy. When you said that he owned a gun previously, you're talking about the black guy, not this guy.
Yeah. You was talking about the
Yeah,
stimulus
okay.
dude. No, yeah, but he. I mean, it's Georgia though. We
It
know
is.
how easy
That's
it
like
is to
the
get a
only
gun
place
here
where you
just
legally.
drive to a gun show.
Everywhere.
You go
Yeah.
Gun
gun
store,
store.
gun show.
Yeah, you go to
gun
you,
store,
yeah.
Academy.
And it's because you only need a permit for concealed carry.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can
Other than that,
have
you can have it.
a gun.
What's it called? The gun store that I went to, they did a background check, and the lady said it took longer to put my background check in than it did for it to come back and say I was cleared to go. So like I don't know exactly what goes into like those background checks. Or
They
what-
just
Just
they
automation,
just
yeah, I'm
county
pretty sure it's
some
databases.
sort of something automated, but like there should be something that like goes into the system. That should be a brick wall. You can't pass if this isn't here, or like you know what I'm saying. This can't pass if
There
this
is. I'm
isn't
sure
here.
there are.
Yeah,
Like,
but
sure there are,
if
but
you're
they
a
don't-
convicted felon, you can't get a gun. I'm sure.
Legally.
Legally.
You can get one at a gun show.
Yeah. But like I walked in
And
the
that's
sporting
nowhere near
goods
that's convicted
on a
felon, though.
Sunday,
Yeah, it is
bought
legal.
my gun and walked out with it that same day.
Yeah. Buying a gun here is not
It's
this
not
long-standing, arduous process.
But yeah, just
But-
like Drew
And
said,
you
I
can
never
openly
also-
carry it too.
Yeah.
You don't have to like.
As long you just
You can
can't.
walk with it on your hip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why if you go to certain southern parts of Georgia, you can probably see somebody with
Yeah,
an
you
AR-15
have
or
it
something
all the
strapped around their
time.
back.
Just own them.
Indianapolis. Okay.
Sound about right.
Yeah.
Indianapolis is in Indiana is just as bad as. Bless you. I don't know
Sorry,
what
I'm
that
so
was.
sorry.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna go past it because I didn't know the origins of that sound.
I've met somebody from Indianapolis and they told me that it's like almost as bad as Chicago, basically, because Chicago's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, I was about to
from-
say they're
from where
not
it's
far
at.
from each other at all.
Skip and a jump.
But I will say, even though like, there's really like no because gun control, of course, is a conversation that's happening now too.
Facts.
Right.
I feel like
and
that's a
it comes
myth.
back up, and there's no
Because guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Well, yes, but if you make it, I agree that we need to have just across the board. It needs to be more difficult to obtain a gun, but making it more difficult to obtain a gun would only probably stop mass shootings.
Right.
They wouldn't stop gun violence.
Yeah.
at all.
Right.
Most crimes that are committed with
Instances
guns are
like
committed
this.
with illegal guns. Places like New York and Chicago and St. Louis have super strict gun laws, and everyone has a gun.
Exactly.
Like one of my homies just the other day was on his Instagram in his story. He's in New York, and everyone in the room has a and everyone in the room had at least two guns.
Dang.
It's crazy.
Yes, and they just honest, and they all he was the only person in that room who does not have a criminal
He
record.
needed.
Wow.
It's extremely difficult to get a gun in New York. They make it a long, arduous process because most people at that point it's like, okay, I give up. No, I don't know. Like I know some of the dudes that was in that room. I can almost guarantee none of those guns was legal. None of them guns got green checks on them. So now, when it comes to mass shootings, stricter gun laws would help prevent a lot of them because most of these mass shootings that happen are people who have just went and bought guns legally and very easily.
Specifically for that reason.
But there's always tellers. Like there's always things that they post or things that they do that you can see like they might be a little off their rocker and they about to do something.
And I think
But
that's
it's like,
where
you can't do anything until they actually
that's where
do
the
something.
that's where the
legally.
police
That is
will
true.
tell us, okay, what do you really want? You can't like. I'm not saying that they shouldn't
treat white people who look suspicious the way you treat niggas.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but I mean, from the aspect of like, you can't monitor every xenophobe. You know what I'm saying? That exists.
Of course
Right.
not.
You know
There's
what I'm
way
saying?
too
You
many of
can't
them.
because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more people who feel the exact same way as that person, but actually would never shoot somebody, even though they feel that, even though they do hate some sort of either Asian, anybody of a darker skin complexion, even though only Indians are really.
When did
Asians
Asian
with the
hate
darker
start?
complexion.
When did Asian hate start?
Well,
I think when
It's,
oppression
Yeah.
against Asian
Is it-
Americans has existed for
for a long
forever.
time.
Since-
They
but
have very,
Specifically, this
like-
boost
Really?
has
the
started
Vietnam
last
War.
year.
Yeah, they used to put
even since before Vietnam.
Korean War,
Yeah.
Japanese internment camps. things
I'm
like
talking
that.
about 21st century.
Okay,
That was all
I
in
will
the
say I think
21st.
that a lot of black
The
people.
Vietnam War was in the 21st
No, that
century,
was the
sir.
20th. It was,
yeah.
but
I meant like with the other stuff.
yeah. What were you about to say, Ashley?
What you
I
was
was
saying.
gonna say that when it comes to stuff like this, it's really easy for like I know specifically black people to come from the standpoint of like thinking that our oppression was worse than what anybody else is going through, and even though that might be like
America hates
That's
everybody.
technically
that is
correct,
factually correct. Yeah.
I don't think that it's fair to compare.
No,
Because
yeah,
it's like either
not-
way.
But also, I don't think we do that.
We don't.
Other races compare
Other
us
They do
way more.
because
I've
there was
heard
an
a lot
article I
from
seen
black
that said
people,
like
though, from people I know.
what black people can do to help. Like
That was
what
some
do we
BS.
what do we
'Cause
got to
you
do
know,
with them?
tell white
Number
people what
one
to do.
and number two, Asians like they was just kicking Africans out of China because they couldn't go into McDonald's. They couldn't do certain things.
Here's the thing that makes situations like this difficult.
Not saying I don't care about what's happening with the Asians. I deeply empathize, not sympathize.
You
Right?
gotta see the other side then.
Yeah, here's the thing
You
that
have to see the other side.
Yeah.
here's the thing that's difficult, right? There's many moving parts.
Yeah.
For one, standing in solidarity, empathizing, and like wanting, like, if you are oppressed, the goal should be, as an oppressed person, for no one to be oppressed.
Right.
Correct.
No matter if their oppression is an oppression you can relate to or not.
Exactly.
It's why so many people fight for causes that they can't relate to, even though, because they understand being oppressed. Where black people have a very difficult spot is, one, we are the most universally oppressed peoples.
Yes.
Everywhere, everywhere on earth, we are oppressed. No
Everybody
matter
has darker
who
skin
the
complexion.
other is, whether it's white, not white people do the most oppressing historically, but whether it's white, Hispanic or Latinx, Asian, Pacific, you can go anywhere and you will find these cultures that historically, both within their culture and in the government, oppress black people. We are oppressed by everyone. That makes it difficult for some black people to empathize for their oppression because
Understandably, yes.
they see these things and they're like, but you hate niggas too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the right mentality.
Yeah, I seen somebody on
But
Twitter
it's-
saying
I get
that.
it.
It's
Yeah.
I
easy
get
to
it.
lean to that
But
direction.
we have to work
It's-
ourselves out of automatically going there.
Absolutely, and
That's the only
especially
thing.
because it's two sides of the coin. You look at last year when we was on the front lines, we was not alone. We had
Right.
allies and accomplices of all shades and colors because people fight for us too. But in the same vein that people fight for us, it's people that are people of color that hate us.
Right.
Big fact.
Absolutely.
It's people. I mean, that's one of my. I went to high school with a homie.
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
gonna say his name, but he was Vietnamese. I remember ninth grade. I remember this so vividly. We outside, we just waiting. Buses done came. Or we waiting for the buses, or whatever the case may be. People waiting for their rides, and he told us, "Don't stand near him. His dad's racist." We think he's playing. He's like, "My dad's super racist," and he's the third generation to be at my school. My school's predominantly black. They're Vietnamese, and he's like, "My dad's real deal racist. He does not."
my God.
yeah, like somebody tweeted earlier today. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't empathize with the Asian community, and then they proceeded to post these 3 articles. McDonald's apologizes after restaurant in China bans black people. This was in 2018. They treat us like we're the virus. Africans evicted from housing in the Chinese city. This is just last year. And if you're black, you can't go out. Africans in China face racism and COVID-19 crackdown. This is last year.
You can't go through your life feeling like that. You really can't.
Personally, I feel like I, of course, understand where all black people are coming from when they lean towards those emotions, but what it really comes down to is that it's the situation in which we all, everybody's living. We live over here in America.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I care? Not saying that I don't, but why should I care about what's happening to oppressed African people in China? They're going back to Africa. I've never been to Africa. I don't even know my heritage from Africa. The only
That's
thing
because you're
I know.
African American, and so it's been stripped
True,
from you.
but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? because
Actually,
of that
your
fact.
people come from the islands, but go ahead.
But that's
But
you
they came from
cut me off before I could
I'm
even
joking.
finish.
I'm
And at the
joking.
same time, I do know that like one half of my lineage comes from Trinidad and Tobago. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't know what goes on in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what the issues are of Trinidad and Tobago because I have issues here at home. You know what I'm saying? So when I be thinking about this whole situation and how when it comes down to the crux of us wanting, we can't ask everybody else to be a part of our, you know what I'm saying, our moving forward if we're not going to be the ones to help and move other people forward.
Absolutely.
Now, I do
Exactly.
believe that we are, people should not be taking us and using us as the reason, you
Right.
know what I'm saying,
Facts.
for anything.
I
Because at the
absolutely
end of the
agree.
day,
Comparisons gotta stop.
like at the end of the
Stop,
day,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, we're all in America. We all have kind of been stripped of some sort of cultural identity when it comes down to it, because that was the purpose of it. Of America.
Yeah.
If you
That's
really want to
literally
be
what
honest,
America is born
our
out of.
forefathers had an
Exactly.
exact vision in which they wanted to push this country, and we're living it today. So if everybody understands that simple fact, and that 9 times out of 10, regardless of what cultural background we come from, if we all come together, doesn't matter. It won't matter. Like, them doing what they're doing won't matter, because we're all unified. Take Fred Hampton, for example. Judas and the
Rainbow
Black Messiah is a
Coalition.
great example. This man went to the Puerto Ricans who was poor. He went to the white people who was poor. He went everywhere around Chicago because he knew what? We're all facing the same stipulations because we're all poor. Even though we're segregated in amongst our communities, if we come together and we look at each other for who we are, people, because if you think about
Realize
it,
we got more in common than
exactly,
different.
then we have it different. We're all the human race. You know what I'm saying? We are the ones that be like, you look different than I. So, you know what I'm saying? Of course, there's different practices from different lands, but at the same time, we're all the same people.
Yeah.
I think a big aspect of, for one, I think it's very easy to treat black people's fight for freedom as a bar.
Right.
And
Because of how hard we fight.
yes. And I think that oftentimes I've seen a lot of like Asian American influencers on social media where they had a lot of posts where it's like, if you were one of the corporations that stood up for BLM last year and you're silent on Asian hate, we see you. And it's like, you can make your point without bringing
us up.
Yeah, because
BLM
But
or
we
black
are the
people at
bar.
all.
Absolutely.
But we're this bar, especially in America. But even worldwide, like, we had the world stopped to protest for George Floyd. It wasn't just here.
it was
the
protests in
entire
China,
world.
protests in
The world.
England.
World.
We are this bar. We are that bar because, genuinely speaking, like I said earlier, we are the universally oppressed. We're the bar of the fight for freedom and liberation, and the constant comparison, because we're the only Africa that still ain't even somewhere we could be where we're not oppressed. Every corner of this earth, if you are black, you are oppressed. Even if you work against oppressed to raise yourself so that you're less oppressed, or you do things like, economically speaking, whatever the case may be, you're black at the end of the day. You live somewhere whose government structure is designed to destroy you.
Point blank.
So
Absolutely.
that it works universally against us. That makes us this universal bar. I honestly, black people who aren't quick to empathize, but in understanding them, they are wrong.
They are wrong.
Because, as Martin Luther King said, anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
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 But I will make one small point that a lot of black people expect, and it's that every other culture that is oppressed gets to put themselves first. And whenever that is oppressed gets to put themselves first. And whenever we do, it's a problem. And whenever we're not there to, historically speaking, you look at any movement for advancement, is black people in that foundation, is black people at the crux. There's black people fighting alongside and pushing, even if it's behind the scenes.
We're the support system.
And to the degree that we give, it's felt like, and it's been seen throughout history, we don't get.
Right.
And so over time, over generation to generation, a lot of us are tired. I know a lot of people who have said out their mouth, I don't want nobody to be oppressed, but my fight is to end the oppression for my people. The fight about the oppression for your people is your fight. I don't agree with that stance. But dang, as a black person,
you get
how
it.
can I?
how can I not say I understand your psychology?
Right.
Of course I do.
Of course you get it.
It's a tough spot to be in, especially now, because the movement of Stop Asian Hate has now crossed over into the mainstream, as it should, because the violence against Asian Americans jumped last year.
It did.
Of course,
because of corona,
coronavirus plays a part, but I almost, looking at it, it almost seems like there was this underbelly of waiting for a moment.
Like the validation that they needed to go.
You look at the percentage spikes in New York, it's by 1900% that Asian American, and they're being very selective. It's elderly Asian Americans. You look in California and New York mainly, it's elderly Asian Americans being attacked, berated, and treated like trash. And 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, 9.9, because I'm only speaking absolutes. But the people on the other side doing it to them are white.
Are what?
Well, we ain't got no problem with the Asians.
I ain't got no beef.
I mean, I don't want to. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Us four don't.
We can't
say people in LA
could have beef.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
but black people could have beef with
anybody.
Because
with anyone.
We just be
it goes
minding
back
our
to
business.
we are the university. If black people are the only people on this earth where if they said us first, everybody else dirt, you are with you, us, or you the enemy, we the only one who will be justified in that mentality.
Fact.
Absolutely.
That's a big fact.
Ironically, we the only ones who don't have it. You look at it, it is ingrained in every culture but our own to love your culture the most, to put your culture in the advancement of your people first, to love you. We don't have that because it was taken.
Everybody else had the chance to come here voluntarily. We were brought here and purposefully stripped of everything. That was the whole goal.
I've been looking into a lot of theories. There was, I don't want to say that like I figured something out, but like there's a lot of people who have some substantial evidence that not only were we never stolen from Africa, there was the amount of percentage of slaves that were brought over from Africa was a lot lower than we were taught to believe, simply because of the fact that if we were able to believe that, I forgot the exact reasoning behind it, but for some Eurocentric ideology was behind that. But basically they were saying that the Native Americans who are, considered like to be Indian and the ones that are on reservation, they were the ones who already had us as slaves. We were already here. You know what I'm saying? And so like they were saying that at some point they took us from them, because we all know Christopher Columbus never landed in America. He landed in Haiti. He landed in the Caribbean. So like where do we get, the teaching that we get nowadays?
Where'd that come from?
That's historical fact.
Treating Christopher Columbus like a litmus of anything, because he wasn't even near the first person to even from Europe to explore here.
Come over here.
We learn about Christopher Columbus, yet we don't learn about the person that this whole continent is named after. I ask people all the time if they know why America's called America, and they're like, no. I was like, you've never heard of Amerigo Vespucci?
Yeah.
And they're like, who the heck is that?
I was called that, but I have learned about him.
Like,
I've heard his name, but I've never
I did a project on him in
after
4th grade, and I was like, the only reason, I figured out so much about him, and he never was in North America either. Like, everything that he discovered was in South America. But he was, I guess, if you want to say a trailblazer, he wasn't really a trailblazer either. But we just learn about all these, not to like discredit what you're saying or anything, but I'm like saying like, bump, yes, Christopher Columbus landed in Haiti. Bump where he landed. He can kick a whole sea of rocks because
the way he died is exactly how he deserved to die. Alone in a prison, sickly.
Oh.
Even like looking at it that like,
what do you do to get up?
Even if Christopher Columbus
and pillaged so many.
But is that what he was in for? Or did he like not like pay somebody back?
When he got back to Spain, somewhere along the end of his tenure, things started to go south.
So who discovered America?
How you
the people who was here?
There was people here.
Yeah. Well,
nobody
who
discovered
came and rediscovered it? If it wasn't Christopher Columbus,
these white men, some white men. I don't know if they were Spaniards. What's Lewis and Clark? Them.
No, they was.
They discovered New Orleans.
First of all, let's even touch that correct. Lewis and Clark was semi rowing the boat okay, and taking Sacagawea's baby off her back so they could rape her. They did no work, okay? They was like, what's here? And then they wrote down what she was. They would be camped, and they would send her out for miles, and then she'd come back, and she'd be like, yeah, 10 miles in that direction, there's dirt, and then there's a marsh, and then like, bump all the, man, I'm sorry, I'm about to say things that like, bump old white man.
Everyone that we learned about in history, bump you.
They could pretty much go.
Pretty much. But yeah, what's next on the agenda? Because we was talking about, we done lumped a lot of
we do want to make
in.
it clear here at YSO, we are vehemently against the oppression of all peoples.
Big facts.
Correct.
We fight the fight.
No one,
the good fight.
No one should be, and we understand that hate is unfortunately a disease, and that, well, maybe we don't. I understand this, and I think this is something that like is understood, right? That like when we want to fight oppression, we want to fight the systems of oppression. We want to dismantle the oppression that is legislative, that is built into the ingrained identity of societies and cultures and governments. As much as we would love to heal all the hearts in the world, you can't. No.
And as much as we would really want to, I don't think it'll ever happen until we remove everybody who is sitting in office right now and replace them with people who are trustworthy. There's even though that's a
but who do you trust with power?
I was about to say, I don't
Not
think there ever
because
be
power
any.
not
corrupts.
too many people. True.
Power does
Absolute power
corrupt
corrupts,
every-
absolutely. But if we can...
That's why communism doesn't work.
But neither does the Democratic Republic either, seem like.
Well, no, of course not.
But I mean, a democratic republic is still a republic. So that's what, we're more republic than we are democracy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we need to stop using, well, whatever. Who cares?
Using the word
Who cares at
democracy.
this point?
I mean, yeah.
They've been lying about everything.
Literally.
Since the beginning of time.
George Washington had slave teeth in his mouth. Not no
We thought they
wood.
were wood.
Just disgusting. There was a video of a man who was reupholstering a chair from... You know what I'm saying? He peeled back the leather, and there's like, a little bit of cotton in there. But in the seat, in the back, hair just like
200 years
You know
ago.
what I'm saying? It ain't black, it ain't blonde. 200 years ago. So there's no telling how he said it. He got it from like South Georgia, which is very understandable. You know what I'm saying? The neighborhood I live in has the word plantation in it.
Georgia
Has the
was
word
mad
plantation in it.
Plantation, yeah.
It's amazing now. It's owned by a black man. The land.
Shout out
at
to
least.
him.
You know what I'm saying? But the land part about it is, you know what I'm saying? But
Wait, he can't
That
change
is
his
a
name?
long time ago.
And
No, no matter who comes along, they don't have the same owner. Yeah, that's the name of it. Think about it.
Well, yes,
that's
but
why
national parks
like
yeah,
have their,
national-
I want to change the name of Yellowstone Park to something else because I own the parking lot. They're gonna be like, no sir,
Thing. Yeah.
no sir,
Thing. Yeah.
or even a state park. Not even, well, I guess Lenora Park wouldn't count as a state park. Park wouldn't count as a state
are
park.
those things
Compare
up
a state
for
park.
sale? Like, can you buy?
You can own the land. Somebody
Like the
owns
land
it.
that Yellowstone, like
You know what I'm saying?
Yellowstone
9 times out of 10, I think that somebody
like the
owns
land
it.
that Yellowstone,
You
like
know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, I
the land
think
that is
the
owned.
state.
I mean, it could be owned like just by the state, but I mean, it could be owned like just by the state, but it's probably not 100%.
Yeah, somebody owns it. You feel me? You feel me? So it's
True.
like, just like, and then if you just driving around here, you see so many farmhouses, and you driving down a long fence, almost in the barn and farmhauses. And you driving down a long fence, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a field, and you see that one house in the barn in the back.
Georgia, bro.
You just almost imagine, like there was
literally,
people who look like me bent over in this field at some
senior
point.
year of college, we had to go to SETC, it's the Southeastern Theater Conference, but the level before, like every state in the Southeast had, so we had to go to GTC, Georgia Theater Conference, to audition to get to SETC, so we had to go to Americas. On the way there, we felt to get to SETC, so we had to go to Americas. On the way there, we we saw once we. On the way there, we felt not only felt, we saw once we passed civilization to civilization. We felt, not only felt, we saw once we passed civilization to civilization. Because, into civilization. Because, every street only had one lane, as far as the eye could see. There were intersections with no light. They were just like, we trust you, figure it out, do traffic on your own. And then we passed, I would say, probably a good 20 to 30, 40 mile stretch of plantation after plantation. And there's no questions for plantations because you could just see the cotton. Because now no one lives there.
Right.
So
When we
it's just cotton growing and bales. And I'm saying we're looking at them. Look at the horizon and you can tell there's more past it.
Wow.
As big and as far as the awesome Mufasa stuff. Everything the light touches.
It's
And
cotton.
we literally was like, yo, our ancestors, even if it's not my blood, my ancestors was here. And we looking at the sheer amount of cotton, we're like, bro, that's unfathomable.
What county did you take your driver's test in? Was it Tift?
I don't even remember
I
the
feel
county.
like it was Tift County.
It might have
because
been.
I remember I had just came back from Florida, and I remember driving through South Georgia. It doesn't take you very long to start seeing these types of things. America's is really far south, but it doesn't take very long for you to get. Once you really get out of the metro Atlanta area, once you pass,
it's just
I'd
swamp
say
and
in the
racism.
south, like Henry,
All them blue counties.
Everything
It's
outside
not
of-
metropolitan.
I mean, red counties.
counties.
Red counties.
red states, really. Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I meant. I said,
It's vicious out here.
red state meant red county. But yeah, when we drove past one leaving the what's it called? The DMV. We literally got right on the highway,
we did.
and we were right next to one.
Yep.
And I remember looking at you and was like, "This is the cotton fields that I drove by on my way to Florida."
Why
There
you
was a
taking it to
museum
Tift County?
called the Slave Museum. I
They
have
had
no
the
idea why
Silver
that
State.
exists.
Oh.
And I was so mad. I was like, "Why do they still have cotton fields? Like, why would you still have cotton fields? Period." Like, at least put them indoors or something. Like, at least have the decency.
I don't know if cotton can
What
grow
are you
indoors.
talking
If you could
Put 'em
indoors,
indoors?
if they can create a
They don't
cloud,
just
Okay, but who's paying for it?
in a freaking in a dome.
It's not the same white people, and you know it. It's white people, but it ain't.
Not them experiments. They make the same
So you think it's offensive for them to still have it
out in the open, of course, because one, it does. They blatantly are showing you, even though we know they blatantly are showing you, even though we know that y'all used to pick this for us because it was such a commodity, and that's how we made our living. Literally, how we amassed so much generational wealth. There's a lot of white people who, I saw this one tweet about Harvard. It's like Harvard culture is meeting somebody with the last name that's the same as a company. They know that. You know what I'm saying, like, a lot of people have literally amassed their family wealth off of slavery and have passed that down generation after generation. If they know that, why would they not have the decency to be like, well, we did, create all of our wealth off of the backs of humans and treated them less than human. How about we take away the visual of what we were doing to them?
You would be asking for true growth and remorse from people who don't have it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't think it is. For me, at least, it would not be. It's not offensive.
For you.
Cause it gotta grow.
I mean, yeah, but it ain't gotta grow on my face next to the dang highway. Imagine the black people who live in Tift County that literally drive by that every day. I saw it once and was offended. I saw it once, could look out into the field and see people. Not saying I'm seeing
Aren't they
spirits
mostly
and
in
not.
areas where there's not very large populations though?
Yeah. Because you're not gonna see cotton fields
In America,
Gwinnett County.
it's a very
America's
small
a
town.
small town,
I
but
don't know
Tift
what
County
is.
Tift County
it
is
was
not.
pretty bustling with life. It didn't seem like a place where like no one lives. I don't got as much people as like what we
they
used
could
to.
put it where
Right.
don't nobody gotta see it, but I'm like, it gotta exist because niggas we use cotton.
Oh yeah,
Cotton gets
Yeah,
used. So
facts.
they gotta grow it.
but
you
I
know
mean,
how many
also,
fields
how much are we consuming
exist in
that's
the Midwest?
American domestically made, anyways? Like I know
That's
the cotton
true.
fields I passed in Americas were untended. Like there's just
So that might be
it's
out of
just
somebody's
land.
control. Yeah, it's just
Well,
like,
whoever owns it could probably, but
Do
they're not
cotton
going
gins
to
still
do it.
exist?
Well, I
Do
mean,
what?
the device itself, probably, but is it being used? Probably not. It's probably an even more advanced way.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably like a
Super.
tractor type.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
like
now.
roll. It's just like a plow. It just collects it all.
It's funny. There's cotton on the stone that like has
Eli Whitney on it.
the stone that and that's attached to our neighborhood. That's attached to like the bricks that you see. It has cotton on like
etched
either
into
side.
it?
Yeah, as it's
I always thought those were mice.
nah, bro. I remember the
Well,
day.
not always. It was up to a certain point. Like, oh, that's actually cotton. But
Yeah,
I
I remember
have to
the
actually
day.
look. I don't really look. I just see
I've
the
never
gin
paid
plantation
attention
and
to it.
turn
I
it.
remember the day we learned about the cotton gin, and like as I turned into my neighborhood that day, I looked. I said, "There's cotton right there." Huh. Wow. And just went on home. It was highly upset.
Shout out Eli Whitney. Not really,
Not for
clearly.
real.
Bump him and bump Francis Scott Key
Bump him too.
I
with a
forgot what he
passion.
did, but yeah.
He wrote the Star Spangled Banner
Oh yeah.
with a passion.
They be
And
so
don't
up in
nobody
arms
know about that
song.
third
How
verse.
he got all these stripes? Niggas was battling at war, and he was
was on the
at
boat.
home in the crib.
I thought he was like on the boat.
Yeah, I thought
One-
he was on a boat.
The Star Spangled
Wasn't he,
Banner
like,
don't
out
even
there?
slap. We need to
He
change
just
the-
he just wasn't there. Like wherever the battle
Yes,
was taking
he
place,
wasn't there.
he was
When he wrote
watching
the song,
from a
yeah, he
distance.
was-
He was
definitely was watching.
safe enough to write lyrics.
Yes.
He got creative. He got his own.
Facts. It was just like
That's y'all
You know
mans?
what? Enough patriotism. Let's talk about these niggas for a second.
But that was the patriotism. And let's us not forget, our pride rides on the backs of these blacks and the whips that we crack them with.
That's insane.
With that
bro.
being said, did y'all watch the Grammys?
I did.
I watched
I
some
did
of it,
not.
and then
Dang,
I
we-
got upset
We're
when
gonna go from one
I
racist thing to another.
got
Although
highly
it was a
upset
big
when
night
Baby
for
lost.
black women.
And
It
I
Yeah.
was a very big
Shouts
night
out to
for
Blue
black
You
Ivy.
said you got upset when?
Okay, so I came in when Baby was performing Rockstar with Roddy.
That was the beginning.
Yeah.
I know because I missed it because I was still at work.
Okay, cool. So I came in at the beginning, but then I left when Megan beat out everybody for best song of the year. Personally, I don't really care about that
What
album
song? WAP?
category.
No.
Nah,
Savage remix.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
she didn't win Song of the Year. She won Best Rap Song.
That.
Yeah.
with
'cause
Savage
Bi-
remix.
Who
Yeah,
got best
because
song?
They
Song of the
do-
Year went to Billie Eilish, and then she
Yeah.
got up there and said this. Her first thing she said last year, but just she did that with Ariana, and it's starting to
do
like.
that.
I respect where she's coming from, but the way she doesn't always seem so weirdly disingenuous because she compliments these people and says that she believes this Grammy should be theirs, and then she goes and does her same acceptance speech, and like takes pride in the Grammy. And I don't see how if you believe a Grammy should belong to someone else, how you have like the sense of pride that she be having afterwards.
She just be
Right.
saying it.
It's probably.
I'm mad at
And then she be like,
she whispers on
Grammys.
songs. Like it's not.
Billie Eilish's music is
it's
good.
Yeah.
I didn't like her second album though.
Is
I do
it?
think in general, she makes good music, and she's like,
I only
her
like the
style,
Bad
I
Guy
like
song.
her persona.
I don't listen
she
to it enough to
performs like
have
she's
a
a rapper.
have any opinion.
That's because she's younger.
But that was a really good.
Like-
that was a really good impression.
Good. Like,
That was
you know
a
what I
really
mean?
good
Duh.
impression.
Like it's.
That was a really good impression.
It was pretty good. I like her first album. I didn't like her second album. I believe her first album deserved Grammys, but she did not deserve to sweep last year. And I didn't.
She had like 5.
Yeah, she had
got
5,
a
and she
bunch.
won the 4 big awards. She deserved Best New Artist. I'm not gonna lie, she took over. But I didn't think she deserved Best New Record, Song, and Album. This year, I had some complaints about some things.
Who won Best Rap Album?
Nas, King's Disease.
Oh yeah.
That's his first one, right?
Yeah, it was his
Wow.
first
Good
for
album.
him.
I was okay with it because it's Nas's first Grammy, and Hit Boy got a well-deserved Grammy. Like, he deserved to get an Album of the Year Grammy after the 2020 he had. But
Big
the
facts.
best rap album
Was
out
Freddie
of the
Gibbs.
albums that were nominated was Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs
That's
and
true.
The
Big fact.
Alchemist.
I
But
mean,
I knew
Freddie
Freddie
wasn't
Gibbs.
mad.
Freddie get you.
He undefeated
You
in
can
court.
get nominated, but if you talk about cocaine every track, you can't win. Daytona was hands down should have won.
I was gonna give it to Victory Lap.
I was gonna give it the Victory Lap too. But
In totality, I like Victory Lap better.
but I
Daytona,
and
I wouldn't have been mad.
I think the only thing against Daytona going against Victory Lap is it only being 7 songs.
7
if Daytona's
songs.
an LP and it's coming like that, it's better than Victory Lap by a
Absolutely.
smidge. You know what I mean? Like
But
I edge
Cardi
it.
B was like the hottest thing on earth at that time. So I mean,
but she didn't deserve best rap album.
She didn't.
I think
I agree.
She did not at all.
She didn't.
I think the categories.
I'd have gave it to KOD before I gave it to.
I
What's
think
the name of her album?
Invasion of Privacy.
Thank you. See, I didn't even know.
That was the one with where she had Bruno on it and Chance.
She had Chance. I didn't think she had Bruno on that album.
She
No,
had
that
Bruno on that album.
That Bruno song.
That's
her
Bruno's
his.
song.
That's Bruno's song,
That-
yeah. But
yeah,
I'm thinking it's
on
on Okay,
Yeah,
go.
the
Finesse.
Finesse remix.
Yeah, Finesse. I'm
But I think that
Silk
something
Sonic
that
is
the Academy
amazing,
has
by
an
the way.
issue with is understanding the context of a genre. They
Who
vote for
is the Academy anyway? Like, who
White
votes
people.
for these people?
there's-
White
It's,
people.
the
Well, it's not
Grammys,
just white
it's
people.
their peers. So it's like
yeah,
producers
so
and
there's
executives
it's producers,
and
there's
managers,
artists, there's
stuff like that,
executives.
yeah.
But the problem is there's three things. One, there's a lot of politics involved.
Yes.
Two, labels can pay for your vote. Like they send people gift packages and stuff like that, and they make it clear when they send different things who they want you to vote for. And people literally will vote for the if they get bought out, they will give their vote to
Wow.
whatever they want. It's very easy to sway votes. There's so many clicks and there's so much inner working stuff. But the Academy for all things, like the Academy, as it hosts its shows, right? So the Oscars, Tonys, Grammys, is made up of peers of the industry, as well as then the people who work for people who are higher up that work for the Academy and stuff. They also get to vote. My issue with the Grammys way before watching it was when the nominations got released, a complete snub of the person who ran 2020, The Weeknd. Blinding Lights was the song of the year, and had it been nominated, it should have got record of the year. And After Hours was the album of the year, and it should have won. Unfortunately, I'm a anti-stan of Taylor Swift.
I feel that.
And
still
Folklore won.
sings?
Yeah, she just won album of the year.
What?
For Folklore.
Man,
I can't stand Taylor Swift.
I hate Taylor Swift with passion.
Me and my homies don't rock with Taylor Swift. If you rock with Taylor
do
Swift,
not
more
like
power
Taylor
to you.
Swift.
How do you write all these songs and have never been caught having rhythm on camera? There's not a moment of No, it's her. Yeah, she makes music. Looking at that list, there's no denying that
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion is the
She's
person who
gonna
should
win,
win.
yeah.
She should have left it with the Grammys. So I'm happy she did. An issue for me. The Bigger Picture,
Laugh Now, Cry
Later, The Box.
She beat Drake.
The Box.
And Darky.
She beat Roddy.
Rockstar.
No way.
I think that was it. And she was the fifth.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Savage Remix is a great song. I love that song.
It's a great song.
I like
but it was
Megan's
a song
music.
of the year.
Well, it didn't win Song of the Year. It won Best Rap Song.
Same thing.
But I agree. I think you have to understand the context of the genre you're voting in. No, she won Album of the Year.
We just talked about
Y'all
that.
not listening. I'm saying who won each award. It's in and out, ain't it? But yeah, I think it's, and I had the same issue a few years ago where someone who won best contemporary R&B album, best urban R&B album, whatever it is, because they had to make another category because they recognized that they didn't understand R&B and that it was evolving, and so they would only nominate people who made neo soul albums. And then you have artists like Chloe and Halle or PJ Morton, artists like that who are making R&B but in this new way, they need to be recognized. But a few years ago it was I don't remember even who it was. I just remember how clear it was who should have won, and they just gave it to someone else.
The year that Macklemore won?
No, that was that's the greatest travesty.
Don't Iggy got one
In America.
too?
Yes. I
You
believe
got
she,
the Grammy?
I don't think she has a Grammy.
She beat Cole, didn't she?
She got nominated.
She got nominated.
Yeah.
She did get nominated for one. I think she announced one before.
The Macklemore situation was 2013's Grammys
Awful.
when The Heist beat Good Kid, Mad City,
All
Yeezus.
other amazing albums,
Awful.
yes.
It don't matter. Good Kid, Mad City
It
should have
should have
won.
said, yes.
And it won for best rap. It swept the rap category because it won best rap song and best rap performance for Saint Love, best rap album. Yeah,
Macklemore did?
Yeah, and then he got up there and said how it was Kendrick's award, which it was, but it made Kendrick feel a type of way, as it should have, because of the way he said it, and also it was very white.
Right.
No disrespect to white people, but the way it was so blind and not
Passive
even
aggressive almost?
It wasn't passive aggressive. It just was not understanding the context of the shit he was putting Kendrick in.
I wonder if he really thought he deserved
Who, Macklemore? I think part of him did. I think part of him. I think part of him feels like the heist.
Has he made music since?
Yes, he's made a few albums.
He
even made an album
for a long time, and then now he makes music about like being better and stuff like
he
that.
even made an album without Ryan Lewis
Yeah.
called Gemini.
I remember that one. I remember the name of that one. Didn't listen to it at all.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that man was still making music.
Yeah.
But that should speak to the fact that The Heist was a great album.
First time, absolutely, yeah.
Should it have Be Good Kid, Mad City? Absolutely not. And I mean, you know,
This is the moment.
that's
I think mine was Kanye.
that's the
Mine was saying. I think mine was
It was
Kanye.
free. That's the only
mine
reason
was
I
Childish
was-
Gambino.
Mine was saying,
Mine wasn't free,
Mine
but I
was the
didn't pay for
GOAT,
mine.
J. Cole,
Oh, that's a good first concert.
This was the
Y'all
second
are
one.
lucky.
2014
Yeah,
Forest
this is my
Hills
second
Drive,
I've been to 3 concerts.
and then Drake and Future,
I've never paid for any of the tickets of any of the concerts.
And then
I've gone to
Hov.
either.
That's a flex.
Me neither.
No, I've been to 4 concerts. Yeah.
and then Drake and
Migos.
Migos.
Drake and Migos was good.
That was
That
amazing.
was so good.
They brought out Thug that one.
I've been to Childish Gambino on the Deep Web Tour. Then Summer 16, Drake and Future.
Amazing.
Then TDE Championship Tour. And then
I
last
wish
year.
I would have gone to that.
And then last year, West Side Boogie when he performed here.
I think the last concert I went to, we went to the Wayne Free concert.
I may
I think that
Boogie
I
may be
think
an
I've been to
artist
one
that I
since
go
then. I
to
can't
every
remember.
like
I know
every
I
time
haven't
he tours.
We
I'm
didn't
gonna
go
go.
to-
I just love him too much.
that was 2019.
I wanted to go see
That had to
Travis
be
Scott.
2019, right?
I heard he was a
Possibly.
pretty good performer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to have
Yeah,
been
it was
Travis.
2019.
Yeah.
Travis, you know, he's like Kanye. He puts on a whole production.
Yeah.
Not saying he's like Kanye. I'm just saying when it comes to their live
He had all
shows.
the fire.
Yeah,
yelling.
he had a
Put
roller coaster on the Astro World
across
Tour.
The goddamn, it was crazy.
I remember Drake brought out the floating Lamborghini when he
Yeah.
performed with Baby.
Brand new whip got no. I want him to perform
That was so
freestyle so
extra.
bad.
What? Where's your expectations at?
I'm not
Why
gonna
would he
lie.
perform freestyle at the Grammys?
No, I'm talking about.
at the
He
concert.
When he brought him out, he
Oh,
ended
yeah.
up doing Drip Too Hard.
Yeah,
but it's
I mean,
like
I
Gunna
explained,
wasn't
yeah.
there, so it was
Yeah,
like.
he
But
should've
that
did
was his.
freestyle.
That was
It
his
was-
number one song at the
Yeah.
time.
Forget
So that was the
The
only
streets
reason
wanted
why.
freestyle.
The
Of course, the
Streets
streets
wasn't
wanted
the only
freestyle.
people there.
Like
Right,
Future
yeah.
did March Madness.
March
But-
Madness was
Everybody
also
knows.
But
his
the white people
number
know
one.
that though. The white people know
White
March
people
Madness.
know
Really?
Madness.
White people do
Freestyle
not
is
know
ours.
freestyle, bro.
Oh.
What they don't.
They
Shut
don't.
up, my label is B. All right, sorry.
You know how
They
mad I
don't know
was?
that song.
I played freestyle at one of my parties that my theater friends were at, and they were in complete awe at how this song they'd never heard of had everybody
everybody else
spitting every word. Like, and these are my black theater friends. They're
Really?
they're just theater friends. So that shows you how much
Yeah.
freestyle is ours. When Drip Too Hard came on, they knew that song.
Yeah.
Drip Too Hard. Go straight to-
They heard that on the radio. They never heard
They
freestyle on
heard
the radio.
Come
freestyle on the
on,
radio.
that's
You better go
ours.
on Apple Music. It's on there.
Man,
Gotta be in
these
the
folks listen to
community.
Spotify.
Yeah, but they were saying how he had like the most prolific.
No, yeah,
Performance.
that
I'm
wasn't
like-
true. I did enjoy his performance. I
Somebody
liked it a
threw a
lot.
Mazel Tov at what looked like a Wendy's and it did a flip,
It was supposed to be a Wendy's, yes.
which is so messed up because
Didn't they
I've
burn down
said
the
this
Wendy's in
before.
Atlanta?
Yes, that's why he did it.
Yeah.
Literally, the intro to his thing is like supposed to be like reflecting.
The
the
George
killing.
Floyd thing and then riots. Well,
Well, no, it was really the what's the name of the man who was killed here? And he was sleeping in the Wendy's
the
parking
Wendy's
lot in his car.
parking lot.
Yeah, that
What was
guy.
his name?
I forgot his name.
I can't
That wasn't
remember.
Elijah.
R.I.P.
That
that
was
man.
somebody else.
You said what?
That wasn't
No, that
Elijah.
wasn't Elijah.
Oh.
But yeah, so there's this TikTok trend where it's like, what historical domino effect are you obsessed with? And this dude
Right.
did
Oh, yeah.
one about how the Buffalo Bills missing like a pass on like third down in an important game is the reason they got the number 1 pick, which is why they drafted OJ, which is why he lived in Buffalo, which is where he met Nicole, which led to, of course, him killing her allegedly.
Allegedly.
Wait, tongue in cheek. which, don't fit. Which led to the case, which led to the fame around Rob, which led to some more attention on them, so that it mattered a little bit more when Kim and Ray J dropped, which led to the Kardashian empire
So the Buffalo
because
Bills
so-
led to that.
because they missed a pass on third down and
Hey.
lost the game.
It's crazy how that is
How?
factual.
Things can connect together.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This
that's
is like the
good.
one that Andrew was telling me about.
Karis LeVert.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert. The fact that Dame Lillard hit that shot in PG's face sent him into
it led all the way to him finding out that he had the.
And they got rid of him, and then he ended up somewhere, and then Russ ended up with the Rockets, and the Rockets was just like, yeah, nah, get up out of here. And then, you know what I'm saying,
James, which sent him to Indiana, which is the reason why.
That's crazy.
He found out that he had a
Facts, 'cause
mass
at the
on his
time,
kidney.
he had it. It was in the stages where if they hadn't caught it,
it would have got cancer. He didn't get. It was benign, but it was gonna become malignant. I think is the term. But they caught it early. But he didn't know, so he was playing, and he never would have. They never would have caught it if he didn't get traded. Because when you get traded, you have to get a physical for your new team, and then getting the physical for his new team, they found it.
Yeah. And it's even hard. Apparently, it's even like it's still hard to find like cancer in kidneys, even when you have it.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
Thank God. And he's already back playing now. He had his first game back last week, I think.
I think so. Yeah. And his surgery went obviously well. You know what I'm saying? So.
But to the Kanye thing, a very important thing that I wanted to ask you guys is if, like, you know, because this is all about what things that he's like deals that he has and all that are valued at, right? He doesn't have $6 billion liquid. He has no way to directly access $6 billion, but the worth of these things is what speaks to net worth. If solidified Kanye West as the richest black man in American history, how do y'all feel about the statement Kanye West is the richest black man in American history?
I don't feel
I'm okay with it.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm
okay with it.
I feel like it's such a W that every criticism we've ever had, even the ones deserved, they kind of lose their oomph.
Yeah,
they do. They absolutely
do. It's kind of like,
and I mean,
slavery was a choice, nigga.
I mean, think whose tutelage he came up under. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z. Jay-Z is definitely what was he this year? He was either this year or last year. He had entered into
you know what I'm saying?
He was the first billionaire, like first hip hop billionaire. It was supposed to be Dr. Dre, but then apparently the deal that of like Apple or whoever bought
it should have been
Dre Beats, like it was estimated like a little bit too highly, and so it didn't make him a billionaire.
I do remember that.
And so Jay-Z became the first hip hop billionaire.
Yeah, them two deals that he did with Jack and then the champagne company.
Yeah, that champagne one. Oh my God!
Because he still own half of it.
Yeah, Jay, but that's how Jay operate.
Yeah,
Jay lets you buy it, and yet he still own it. I'm gonna have to cop a Basquiat off of him.
You know what's hilarious? There was a picture of him and Beyonce walking out of some restaurant. He had a bottle of wine in his hand, and somebody Googled it, right? And the wine was $800. And like they quoted the tweet was like, "I just Googled that wine. I need to stay in my lane."
Absolutely.
I don't want to. Personally, I don't ever want to be in a position where I can just spend $800 on wine.
I do.
I absolutely want to. I wouldn't because I don't like wine.
I wouldn't, but I want to be able to. Absolutely.
I don't know if I want to be able to. I would.
It's $800.
I know I would.
Now, see, it wouldn't be that, but I know that something. I know because I know how I act on payday. The most dangerous day to be around me is payday, because even though I know I have to make this money last 2 weeks and I have these fiscal responsibilities, on payday, there's something about the fact that the money just came in that lets me want to make it just go out. And I say the dumbest thing ever, which is, I don't care. I got paid today. And so I know, you know, as I climb, you know, God willing, through the ranks of wealth, that I'm going to purchase some things that are probably stupid, but I'm not going to purchase any of the stupid things that like people historically do, or like rappers and entertainers historically do.
Well,
I'm going to buy like an $800 vase.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or I'm going to spend like $2 million at an auction, and people are going to be like, "What was it for?" And I'm like, "For a fully functioning Batmobile."
Oh my God!
Did you see the TikTok of the lady who has the Iron Man mask?
Yeah,
the automated one. It was so cool.
People make their own.
Yeah,
like you can 3D print one, which is insane.
There's a guy that has a full
this
suit.
only
I think
costs like $2,000.
I went to college with a guy who would make like really high quality Captain America shields.
Really?
Yeah, and he had that was his business.
It ain't vibranium though,
and he was very paid.
Well,
literally, while he was talking about it at the party, I was looking at my roommate and I was like, "I'm not really cool with him. So you want to rob this nigga? He's kind of very annoying."
I'm making Captain America.
Shout out to him. He's never gonna see this.
There was
if he does.
There was
also,
some TikTok.
Not in like a offensive way. You're very annoying if you ever do. Just in a way that takes some time to adjust to, you know?
Understandable. But there's a TikTok guy who
Had to clear that
I
up.
think he went to I'm not sure where exactly it is. I think it's somewhere in Orlando where you can make your own lightsaber and they cost like $200.
Is that not
the one I
Universal
was watching the other
Studios?
day?
Now I think, but I don't think it was Universal Studios. I think it was somewhere else that like had a specific Star Wars thing.
Oh wow.
And it's like
They're pretty like high quality.
The
Like the
handle,
handle is
the
metal.
handle's metal. Got some weight to it. You know what I'm saying? The crystals are like extra $15, and he said it rings up to about like $200. So if you're like a collector, like you know what I'm saying,
Or like
and
if you're a
cool.
super
nerdy,
cosplayer.
Yeah.
understandable.
Really
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to spin the grip to cosplay right. I ain't gonna
Are
care.
y'all gonna
We do.
travel this year? Because it seems like traveling is the theme of 2021.
If I have
Oh,
money,
I'm already
amidst the
traveling.
panty.
I'm
She already
definitely
went to.
traveling.
Where
Oh
you
yeah,
went
that's
to?
right. You already moving in a panini.
I sure am. Absolutely.
In the
But people-
I
panorama.
have plenty
people-
more places to go.
People's traveling crazy right now off them stimmies, but people talking big about summer 21.
my homegirls just went to Jamaica.
That sounds fun.
That was
I don't have
a
passport.
out there.
So I can't leave the
That's where you
country.
just went.
You can get
I'm
one.
going to
Though.
Aruba.
Yeah, but it's gonna
tomorrow.
take a long time.
You so
Christian,
How
fancy.
long it took you to get your passport?
You so fancy. I don't know.
What you mean, hell no?
I don't remember. A couple
Well,
weeks.
just do it early so you don't have to pay for the expedited one.
Does the expedited one cost a lot of money?
Yes.
Because you have to pay for the application, and you have to pay for like the fee.
Yours
at the,
shouldn't be
the office when
expired
you're
because you
processing.
got yours the same time as mine.
I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I don't plan on going out the country anytime soon.
Let's ask the important
I gotta
question.
make some
though.
money first.
Listen,
Why do I need a piece of paper to leave a nation and enter another one?
I don't know.
What
I
does
feel like
that?
you should
don't
just
know.
need your
What
license.
does that little
like,
book mean other than I paid money to receive it?
Because there's a process when you go through customs that you have to.
Yes,
But they're just getting your
it doesn't.
basic information.
All they do is
Literally,
stamp
your
it.
passport is just a form of identification.
Yeah.
It's a station.
Why
state
can't
issued form
my
ID.
identification work over there? The state of Georgia exists. You know that. Now let me in, Francois.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. That is funny.
You already know what it is, man. It's the YSO podcast. We keep it
Let me
real and we
in,
keep it
Francois.
raw. You already know where you can find me, man. Lions_Emmanuel_ on Instagram. RP Lions on Twitter. Harry Belafonte is still out right now. Produced by Christopher Knox, featuring Christopher Knox. Go run that stream up. New music coming soon? Question mark? Probably, yes. Subscribe. I'm gonna do the podcast information now too. So you know where to find us on Instagram, YSO Podcast, Twitter, YSO_podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you already know it's You Speak Out Podcast. If you're listening to the audio, go to the YouTube and subscribe to You Speak Out Podcast. Press the notification bell, set it to all, so every time we drop content, you tapped in. And if you're on the YouTube and you're not subscribed to us audio, go to your audio DAWs and podcast places and subscribe
It's
there.
free.
It don't matter where you consume it, be tapped in with both.
It's free.
Mr. Stark.
Oh, you can find me at _CB03 on Instagram, at Coach_Buck03 on Twitter, and yeah.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ashton Gates with 2 S's at the end.
You can follow me at _skip to my shoe. That's my personal Instagram. Or you can follow me at